Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing a Hatha yoga sequence and opening up the body, working on our breath, and coming into a space of relaxation at the end. So let's get started by coming into our Ujjayi breath, or a deep belly breathing, also known as diaphragmatic breathing. So we're going to breathe in and out through our nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're going to breathe deep into the belly, filling up the body, expanding, holding at the top of the breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to just give a little squeeze by pressing in through the belly, drawing in, closing through the front of the rib cage, and pausing at the end of the breath there. So in between the inhale and the exhale, there's a pause, so that way we can fully feel the breath. And then we're going to do this for about 3 minutes, just to warm up the body, get everything moving on the inside. So let's bring our hands together in prayer position. Relaxing through the jaw by keeping the lips together but the teeth apart. Let's all empty out together. You start a new breath. Breathing in, pausing at the top of the breath, and exhaling, emptying out completely. Continuing with the breath, expanding the rib cage, hugging it all in. 2 more deep breaths. Let's drop the chin down, bringing the hands down. Inhale with the arms coming up, taking our gaze upwards. 1 more time with the palms together, coming down through our center. Then we're going to bring the hands all the way down to the mat, coming up on the knees, and extending ourselves back into child's pose. So let's bring those knees underneath the hips, big toes together, and pressing through the hands. Let's pull in through the belly. And exhale, sitting it down onto the heels. Forehead down onto the ground. Again, continuing that deep belly breathing. Feeling the breath coming into the low back. As we think the tailbone rooting down between the big toes. Forehead nice and light on the mat, breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. One more breath into the back of the neck. Exhaling it all the way. On the next inhale, we're going to Draw in and up through the belly, scooping the hips forward as we come up through our tabletop, opening up through the toes, lengthening it out, dropping the hips down, and coming into an upward dog, taking our gaze upwards, really pushing through the hands, lengthening the neck away from the shoulders. Empty it out, inhale, pulling in through the belly, pressing through the knees, pushing through the heel, the palms, big toes back together as we sink it down in Balasana. Exhaling all the way here. Using that inhale to pull in and up through the belly, waving our way through the spine, through our tabletop, coming back into upward dog as we dip the hips down towards the earth, pressing through the heel, the palms, and the fingertips, pointer fingers forward, opening up through those feet, lengthening out through the legs. Big breath in and exhaling it all the way, sinking the hips down a little bit more. Inhale, pulling in and up through the belly, pressing through the knees and the hands, big toes together, Balasana. Exhale. Inhale one more time, waving it through, coming into our upward dog, and exhaling it all the way. Let's pull it on back into tabletop and making sure that the hips are over the knees, the hands, the elbows, and the wrists are lined up underneath the shoulders. We're going to breathe it in by drawing in through the belly and coming into our cat-cows as we press the spine towards the ceiling, really feeling the fingertips engaging, a little drawing up through the center of the palm as we separate through the back of the shoulder blades away from the spine. And let's exhale, releasing through there, dipping it down with the chest and the belly as the back of the head is lifting up and back to reach for the sacrum. Still continuing to feel that push through the hands. Let's exhale. Inhale, drawing in and up through the belly, curving through the spine, feeling the tops of the feet, gently pressing into the mat, engaging all the parts of the body that feel the mat there, observing them with the mind's eye, and exhale, sinking the chest and belly down towards the mat. Release. One more time. Inhale, breathing it in. That forehead and tailbone are coming towards each other. Chin is drawn in towards the chest. And exhale, release. One more time, dipping the chest down. Lifting the head up and back towards the sacrum. Good. Let's come back into our neutral space, coming into that tabletop. Drawing in and up through the belly so that way we can feel our spine nice and long. Again, observing the feet on the floor, feeling how every part of the body plays a role in our balance here, in our movement. Let's take one nice deep breath one more time. Feeling the breath in the back and the hips. And we're going to exhale, bringing the left hand underneath the sternum. Let's breathe it in, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening up through the front body there, and then we're going to come through threading the needle between the arm and the leg. And as we come down, bringing ourselves down towards our shoulders, and bringing our forehead, the temple of the head down, or the side top of the head, very gently touching as we walk the left hand down. Thinking of those hips being lifted up high, as well as feeling the hand, the left hand, being able to press down, how that opens up the rib cage, and again, pressing through the back of the right forearm helps to open up a little bit more. Get into a little bit of a deeper twist. And let's exhale, bringing the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Breathing it in. Let's reach that right arm back up, rolling it out through the wrist. We're going to reach it back behind us and coming right on down underneath into our sternum space. Breathing in and up with the left arm, coming all the way up, And exhale, threading the needle, coming through. We're going to come on down towards the shoulder, bringing the head down, extending out that right arm. And again, finding space between the shoulder blades and the spine. Just creating a little bit of traction by using the forearm that's on the floor, a little press through the palm, keeping those hips lifted up. And exhale, right hand underneath the shoulder, pressing it up, breathing it in and rolling it out through the wrists. Let's reach that arm back behind us to circle it back down, coming up underneath us. One more posture here. We're going to breathe it in and lifting up through the belly, feeling the core engaging. We're going to press through the left foot, top of the left foot, and exhale all the way, keeping the core engaged. As we inhale, we're going to extend out the right leg, pointing it back and reaching out through the left arm. So we want to think long here. Our fingertips are reaching for the wall in front of us. Our toes are reaching for the walls behind us. But not only that, we don't want them falling out to the side. We want to think of hugging into a center line. So we're lifting up, long and centered. Continue to feel the push through the right arm, the left leg. Breathe. One more deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to draw it all in towards our center. Extend it back out once. And bring it on down. We're going to rock the hips side to side. And then bringing ourselves down to our forearms. We're just going to take one little press back, bringing the big toes together, pulling in and up through the belly button, and sinking the hips down towards the heels. Just breathing into the sacral space there. Exhaling it all the way. Opening up nice and wide through the fingertips and the palms, reaching for the front of the mat as we exhale. Let's breathe it in all the way, coming up. And hands underneath our shoulders. This time we're going to engage through the right leg, feeling that on the ground and feeling that left hand pressing into the floor, pulling in and up through the belly, lengthening through the top of the head. Let's exhale all the way first. And as we inhale, reaching back with that left leg and reaching forward with the right arm. Again, we're reaching through, we're trying to reach forward. We don't want to open. That loosens our abdomen, that loosens our bandha. We got to pull it in and up, pressing through the hand, keeping engaged and breathing. Exhale, drawing the elbow and the knee in towards our center. Inhale, extending it out. And coming into our tabletop. One more time, rocking the hips out, side to side. And just getting a little bit loose in the tailbone space. Coming back down to our forearms for one more time. Balasana, our child's pose. As we press through the forearms, reaching the hips for the back wall and sinking them down. Inviting the forehead to just rest gently on the mat. One more nice deep breath into the belly and the back space, into the neck. Exhaling it all the way. Opening up through those fingertips. And next inhale, we're going to pull in and up through the belly. Open up through those toes, tucking them. We're going to lengthen out to our plank, holding it here for one breath. Give those thighs a squeeze to wake them up. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up through the hips, press through the hands, pressing back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, sinking the heels down. It's okay if you're bending in your knees. We're gonna walk it out a little bit here, walking the dog. Let's work through all those metatarsals and the toes, phalanges. Keeping those hips lifted, feeling that push even through both arms, pushing the front of the mat away, and at the same time, gently drawing the abdomen in and up. Bringing both heels down, and let's inhale, lifting up through both heels, and starting to walk ourselves towards our hands. And bring those feet underneath the hips. Let's exhale, sinking it down. Keeping the rib cage attached to the thighs for a moment. As we sink the hips a little bit more, we're going to take those hands out to the side, breathing them out to the side, reaching nice and long. And nice deep breath into the back. And exhale, release. Let's breathe it in, straightening up through both legs in our forward fold. And exhale, softening in the knees. We're gonna step it back with the right foot, opening up just a little bit, getting our grip, knee in line with our front toes, feeling that outward leg rotating open, getting strength by squeezing that thigh, feeling the rib cage on the knee. Let's release through the hands. Exhale, inhale, breathing it in and up all the way into our warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Feeling the hips trying to rotate facing forward as the leg opens out. Those fingertips pressing together, reaching up for the ceiling. Let's press the arms back to the ears and then continuing back as we lengthen through the spine. And exhale, coming forward with the knee, shifting with the foot. Let's toe heel once with the front foot, opening up into our warrior two. If you want to go a little deeper, shifting that back foot, but we want to make sure our feet are in a perpendicular position. So that means that the front foot, toes are facing forward, the heel is in line with the back instep, center of instep there, and the back toes are facing the side, so they're making a T. That back leg is rotating open. Hips are going to draw under by pulling in and up again through our belly, so that will draw the hips forward. Let's open up through those arms. Back arm disappears, nice straight line. Give that back thigh a squeeze to support us as we sink down a little bit further. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Let's turn that front palm. Exhale, softening down through the shoulders, pulling in and up through the belly to draw the hips forward and down. One more sink as we exhale. Reach it forward, inhale, coming up, reverse warrior. Breathing in, nice and slow. And coming on up, let's exhale, sink it down. Coming into side angle pose, bringing the forearm down to the thigh, and the right arm's gonna come up over the top of the head, creating a nice long line from fingertips to the heel. If you feel like you're slipping in the back foot, turn those toes in a little bit more. Use the edge of the foot, pinky edge is the blade there for the brakes. If you want to go a little bit deeper, let's breathe it in, opening up, using that left forearm on the inside of the knee to keep it pressing open. Reach. Breathe it in here. Exhale, back into side angle pose. Breathing it in, straightening up through the legs, opening out to the side, turning those toes. We're going to pull in and out through the belly. See the difference if we let the belly hang, or if we draw in and up, how it draws the hips forward, lifting up through the top of the head and down through the shoulders as we hinge at the hips, Squeeze those thighs to support those legs. Hold on to those legs and give yourself a pull. Exhale all the way. Let's breathe it in, coming all the way up. Arms out to the side. Squeeze through those thighs, come up to the top. Let's bring those arms all the way up with the breath. Rotating through the front foot, opening up. One more time, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale. Let's heel toe our way in with the back foot. Push through the ball of the back foot to rotate, coming back to our center. Open up with the left foot and sink it back down. Virabhadrasana 1. Big breath in and up. Pressing it back, press those arms back towards the ears, in line with the biceps, and coming all the way up. And let's exhale, fold it all the way over, hands frame the foot, pressing through the hands, pull up through the belly, back into our plank, and holding it here. Let's feel the strength of the plank here, engaging through the belly, but gently lifting the belly in and up. So what is up? We're lifting it not just towards the spine, but up towards the heart. Feeling the hands pressing through the fingertips, giving those thighs a squeeze as we press the hips down at the same time. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up into our downward dog. And exhaling it here. Let's walk the dog for a moment, just bending in the right leg, sinking the left heel, and alternating back and forth. Let's bring both of those heels down, push those hands into the front of the mat that we're pushing away, engaging through the upper body, thinking of the chest sinking down. The abdomen's reaching for the thighs as we inhale, lifting up through the heels, bringing that right leg up. And let's make some circles with the ankle. Continuing to breathe. Change the direction. Little lift up and exhale. As we come down, we're going to shift into our plank, drawing our knee into chest. Let's breathe it in, bringing the chin in towards our chest, nose towards our knee. And exhale, extending it back into a plank. Tuck the toes, bring the knees down. Release through the tops of the feet, pulling in through the belly. Press with the hands, pull with the hips, sink it down. Balasana. Let's bring those hands together so that way we can extend them out, feeling the strength in the arms. And then exhale, letting the head rest down here in between. Opening the arms back up, emptying it out for one more breath. Let's breathe it in, drawing in and up through our belly, lengthening out to our plank. Exhale. Inhale up to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. And one more time, walking it in. Uttasana, folding it over forward. Breathing it in here. Why don't we take a moment to also hold on to our elbows and coming into our waterfall. If you need the legs to be bent, of course, let the knees be bent. But we want to think of the chest and the belly coming as close as it can to the thighs, resting in that space as we empty out through the weight here, relaxing through the back of the neck. And if we can, straighten through our legs. Let's take one nice deep breath as we stay folded over, but lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands coming onto the shins. Let's breathe it in, pressing the hands against the shin, halfway up, looking out in front of us. Taking a breath here. Exhale, squeezing it out. Big breath in here, and let's soften in the knees. Exhale, releasing through the hands. We're going to press through the feet, coming all the way up. And exhale, down. Let's bring our hands together, palms together, and we're going to step it back, lengthening it out nice and long. Exhaling all the way here. Again, feeling when we are in our lunge that that back leg isn't just opening up. We want to have our hips facing towards the front and the rotation happening because of the muscles, the glutes, the thighs, everything is rotating open. Our front leg, our knee is in line with our big toe and second toe. Exhaling it all the way here. Feeling those hips drawing forward as the belly button is drawn in and up. Exhale. Inhale, arms up, squeeze that back thigh. Palms coming together. Sinking a little bit deeper on your next exhale. Pressing the arms back on the inhale. Feeling that back lengthen, back leg strengthen. And exhale, coming to our center. Rotating on that back foot to open, opening up through the hands. Heel toe, front foot. Lengthen through back foot. Sinking in the front knee. Knees following that line right over the big toe, second toe, back foot. We have the T going on. Squeeze that back thigh. Disappear that back arm. Exhale, sink a little bit more. Breathing it in, feeling the strength of the breath. And exhale, sink it down. Inhale, coming up. Folding it back for reverse warrior. Next breath in, coming all the way up. We're gonna sink it down and fold it over, side angle pose. Nice long line from fingertips to the side of the foot. Don't forget, don't let your booty start sticking out. Zip it up, pull it in and up. Breathing it in, coming all the way up. Standing straddle, toes facing forward. Feeling the thighs engaged. Pressing down through the shoulders, lifting up through the top of the head. Hinging at the hips as we draw up through our abdomen. Exhale, hands coming down on the floor, underneath our chest, letting everything melt down. Thinking of bringing those elbows down towards the earth. Shifting our weight forward. Shifting our weight back, keeping our hands where they are. Shifting forward. Releasing any tension in the toes, coming back. Let's sink it down through the knees, bringing the hands right underneath us and turning the toes out. We're gonna just shift our weight over into the right leg, using the right elbow to help press that knee open, sinking the hips down. Let's reach with those toes to come on over to the other side, walking the hands. And again, don't let that knee fall in. We want to keep it pressed open. So some of us might just be right about here, but we want to keep that open, keeping the knee in line. And one more time. Let's sink it back. Thinking about seeing if we can move through the neck while we're in this space. Coming back to that centered space. Toes facing forward, heel toe in a little bit. One more time. Sinking it down. Let's exhale all the way. Breathing it in, reaching those arms out, long flat back, drawing in and up. Squeeze those thighs, arms up. And exhale, open and down. Let's turn it around towards the front. We're gonna take one more big breath in, coming all the way up. Feeling those thighs nice and strong. Exhale, folding it over. We're gonna bend in those knees, sinking it all the way down. And we're gonna just walk those hands back, coming onto our bottom. So coming midway through your mat, extending those legs out nice and long. We're gonna exhale all the way here. Just feeling the body's alignment. We're gonna close our eyes for a couple of breaths here. Hands on the knees for a moment. Close your eyes, just observing your body, feeling where maybe you're tingling, twitching, feeling like one leg, one side is a little bit stronger than the other. Maybe the other side's not engaging, but let's take one more nice deep breath in, and we're gonna exhale, inviting everything to relax for a moment. And then we're gonna breathe it in, opening up through our eyes, arms coming up. We're gonna engage in those thighs, squeezing, pulling the toes back, reaching the arms forward. Shoulders coming down. Feeling the shoulder blades drawing towards each other as we engage the back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, drawing in and up through the body, lengthening through the neck, continuing to feel that squeeze in the thighs, holding it for one more breath here. We're going to take a look to the right, center, left, center, exhale, release. Hands on the knees, soften through the spine, empty it out all the way, chin comes down to the chest, exhale, inhale, breathing it in, reaching those arms all the way up. Again, squeeze through the thighs, toes coming back, pull in through the belly, reaching for those feet. Paschimottanasana. Thinking of the forehead coming down towards the knees. Exhaling it all the way. Breathing it into the back, relaxing through the toes. Let's take a look at our toes, still holding on to our legs where we are. Feeling the chest and the belly trying to come together. And taking a look past the toes on the floor. Feeling the breath in the belly. If we really breathe into the belly, feeling how that expands through the back space, the hammies, the glutes. And we're going to think of the chin reaching for the toes as we fold over, and then exhale, empty everything out, letting it forehead down towards the knees and the shins. Exhale. We're going to do some backstroke swimming. Empty out the breath all the way. As we inhale, left hand stays on the leg, right arm comes up. We're reaching forward, coming all the way up, and we're reaching back. Have the eyes follow the hands. The thumb is up and swimming it all the way forward. Pull in through the belly, fold forward. Chin is reaching for the shins. Exhale, empty it out all the way. Inhale, left arm reaches forward, up, open. Eyes are following the hand. And swim it down. A little lift up through the abdomen space as we fold it over. Exhale. One more time each way. Big breath in, opening up through the eyes, having the eyes follow the thumb as we reach it back. Pausing for a moment in the back here. And continuing through and fold over. Empty it out. Breathing it in, reaching that left arm forward. Feeling the eyes following the thumb. Maybe having to use that right hand to keep us from falling over. Circling it all the way back. And walking it down the legs. Exhale, empty it out all the way. Breathing it in, drawing the chin in and up as we roll it up. And we're gonna bring those legs on in, feet together, coming into a little butterfly. So let's sit up nice and tall on our sits bones. We can use our thumb on the inside of the arches there, that spot that always seems to get so tight when we're in balancing poses. Just give the feet a little bit of love. Gently rubbing the thumbs in there. We don't need to grind the bones or the ligaments. You want to just give it a little bit of love. Let's brush upwards actually, sending some energy up, the lymphatic fluids towards the heart. And a little brush up the belly, up the chest, all the way up, and opening out to the sides. Alrighty, holding on to those ankles and butterfly. So if your legs don't really bounce, you want to just maybe think of them bouncing and inviting yourself to just close the eyes. So if they're kind of stuck right there, maybe if you're even right here or here, and you're like, there's no bouncing happening. So if you're here, maybe bring those hands to the outside and think about pressing the legs into the arms. Or if you like better, from the hands on the inside, stay lifted, but we want to maybe use the elbows to press onto the insides of those legs. So that way we can eventually open everything up, coming into a nice wide butterfly. And I'm going to turn to the side here so that way we can go into our seated straddle, opening up through the right leg. Left foot is in front. We're going to extend the arms up and open out to the side. Do a little ankle roll here. Okay, so we don't want one cheek on the ground and one cheek up, okay? We want to think of our right cheek rooted down into the earth. So this way, again, the hips are stable, the legs are doing the work to open up. Our knee is looking up towards the sun. And big breath in here, softening through the shoulders, checking that we can move through the neck. And next exhale, shifting through the rib cage over our leg, grabbing with our peace fingers for our toe, and all the way over. Elbow comes down to the knee. Our arm is reaching over to the side. If you feel like you're closing through the front of the rib cage, let's take a nice big deep breath in. Take your gaze upwards and feel the chest opening up there. Opening up through the side body on the left. One more nice deep breath here. Exhaling it all the way and coming all the way up. And we're just going to take a stretch over to the other side. And come on up. Let's bring our right foot in, opening up through our left. And again, feeling that our booty's on the ground nice and even. Arms come up, open out to the side. Feeling that left leg rotating in the hip space. Feeling the strength in the hips. Shifting the rib cage over to the side. Flexing through those left feet. Reaching with the peace fingers to grab that toe. And all the way over. One more breath here. Coming all the way up. And we're going to bring that foot in. Oh, we didn't do our stretch over to the other side for an opposition. It's always good to do an opposition of whatever your stretch is. So if you fold forward, do a bend back. If you go to the right, twisting, do a left twisting. If you go side, side, opening up through the legs. So nice and even. Let's squeeze those shoulder blades together, feeling the back arching, really pressing the chest forward. Keeping the shoulder blades squeezing together. We're going to pull in and up through the belly button, feeling what happens when we pull in through the belly button, how we shift on our hips. So we want to make sure that our shoulder blades are drawn together and down, but at the same time, we don't want to be folding forward. We need to open up through the legs, pull up here. Let's draw the hands down and up. Big breath in and folding it forward, hinging at the hips. So coming to where your edge is. If this is your edge, that's a-okay. Once you hit your edge, you want to bring your hands down and then crawl it out a little bit more. So we're thinking about how far our fingertips can go when we hit that edge. Can our elbows come down? Once our elbows come down, can we maybe crawl it out a little bit more? And we're thinking of the chest coming down towards the earth at the same time as really shifting in the hips, folding them forward. And we don't want our knees going forward. They want to stay shining up towards the sky. So say like if as soon as I'm here, they start to fold forward. So I want to make sure that this is where I'm going to be, and this is the space that I'm going to work my straddle space in the groin area, in the hips, and the back space. And let's go one more time. Big breath in. And feeling those thighs engage. Exhale, folding it forward. Hands come down. You can release through the thighs as we walk it down, and then re-engaging through the thighs. Feeling how that lengthens the back of the knees. And let's all just come to our forearms here, palms together. Or if you're here, then palms together. You can be up here. But we want to just come to a space so that way, even if you're here, shifting the rib cage. So while we're in this space, we're lengthening and moving the rib cage side to side as the hips work that rotation. And then we're going to bend in the right knee with a little lean towards the right. Press down with the back of the knee like we're squishing gum down into the earth. Lean towards the left with a bent knee, pressing down through the back of the knee. Exhale. Inhale, bending in the right knee, pressing it down through the back of the knee, and coming through our center. Bending in the left knee, pressing down through the knee. And then a little shift forward, letting everything melt forward. And then pulling ourselves, so thinking of that tailbone, if we had a tail that can root down into that earth to grab it for us, walking our way all the way up. Arms coming all the way up, and one more time out to the side. Exhale. Let's bring the hands behind us, interlacing the fingers. We're going to squeeze through the shoulder blades, pressing down like we're holding a weight in our hand, and back to our center. Let's wiggle, wiggle, wiggle those legs back in towards our center. Let's just turn back towards my front here. Let's roll it on back down onto the mat. And walking the feet in towards the heels. We want to exhale it all the way. Feeling the back in the mat, the palms facing down towards the mat, and fingertips reaching for the heels. Once we find that space with the knees bent, we're going to exhale one more time, feeling the belly button dry in and feeling how that lengthens the back onto the mat. And then release. One more time, deep breath in, filling the belly as we exhale, drawing the belly in. The belly button in towards the spine lengthens towards the mat. We're not necessarily smushing the spine into the mat, we're just lengthening it, feeling it moving towards the mat. And then one more breath in. Let's keep the shoulders where they are. We're just going to open up the palms. So feeling the elbows into the earth, and then opening up the palms so they are face up, and feeling how we can maybe open up our shoulders a little bit more, and we can shift on the right and then the left, giving the shoulder blades a little bit more of a squeeze.
Let's exhale one more time. This time we are thinking of pressing the spine towards the mat as we push through our feet, lifting up through our hips.